Welcome to another Impact Drive Time presentation, a value-added feature designed to help you increase your bottom line from Gateway Financial Advisors Incorporated. GFA is striving to provide our partners the synergy, support, and motivation needed to achieve their maximum potential. Go to www.gfainvestments.com or call 888-939-9714 to find out how you can be part of the winning team of Gateway Financial Advisors Incorporated. Now sit back and enjoy as Gateway Financial Advisors presents another Impact Drive Time presentation to help you increase your bottom line.
Welcome to another Impact Drive Time presentation to help you increase your bottom line. My name is Shane Westholter, CEO and founder of Gateway Insurance and Gateway Financial Advisors. Today on the Gateway Podcast, we have a special guest, Kevin Mayeux, CEO of NAIFA, National Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors. Please welcome to the Gateway Podcast. Kevin, thank you for being here. And I know many of us know you on a professional level, being involved with NAIFA over the many years, but maybe not so much on a personal level. So why don't we get started and let you share a little bit about your personal background, who you are, where you came from, and what some of your passions are, and we'll take it from there.
Sure, I'd be glad to. And it's great to be able to spend some time with you and your listeners today. So anyways, like Shane said, I'm Kevin Mayeux. I am a native Floridian, born and raised in Tampa, Florida. I was privileged to go to the University of Florida, where I received my bachelor's degree, took master's courses in political science, and then got my law degree from UF, where I went to school for 9 amazing years. And then they said, hey, Kevin, you can get football tickets as an alum. And so I decided it was time to go out into the real world and make some money, but still do my best to contribute and be nationally active with the University of Florida on their National Alumni Board. I'm an attorney by profession, but I've been running associations really for the past 23 years. I started my association management life back in the late 1990s when I was the executive director of the Florida Student Association. So I represented all the state's university students and fought for things like student financial aid, student rights, keeping tuition affordable, that kind of stuff. And I worked with the legislature and the governor and the state governing board for the university system back then. I then went to Indianapolis, Indiana, where I lived for a decade, and I was the CEO of Tau Kappa Epsilon fraternity. TKE is a large social fraternity with chapters on 285 campuses around the country. And with that, I got a chance to meet so many incredible undergraduate leaders all across the country. We had about 13,000 active student members at any one time and about 200,000 alumni across the country. And on the alumni part, I was really blessed. Got an opportunity to meet real giants in the American landscape like Charles Walgreen before he passed away. Howard Schultz was a member from Seattle, and he ran Starbucks for such a long time. Mark Benioff of Salesforce was a member of our chapter at UFC. Had an opportunity to go to President Reagan's funeral. He was also an alumnus of the fraternity, and just meet so many great folks that have done great stuff all across this country. After that, I went down to Orlando and spent some time running the North American division for the Institute of Internal Auditors. And in addition to making sure their U.S. and Canadian and Caribbean chapters were doing well, also was their global executive vice president and general counsel. So I got to travel to a ton of countries all around the world in that job. And then for the past 5 years, I've been blessed by being the CEO of NAIFA. And with that, the opportunity to work with incredible volunteers, folks we've got on the national, state, and local level, our more than 23,000 members all across the country that work with Main Street Americans and 90 million American families, helping to make sure that they have access to products to keep their lives financially secure for them and for their families. So it's been a lot of fun doing all those different things on the professional front, but working with NAIFA and NAIFA members sure has been absolutely rewarding for me personally and professionally.
Wow, that's a great background and great information. I knew some of that, and that kind of puts the puzzle together between the Gators and the Colts down there in Indianapolis. So, and some, like you said, some very impressive people that have crossed your path in your lifetime. So it's great to have you on board with us here at NAIFA. Let's lay the groundwork, because some of the people listening may not be that familiar with National Association of Insurance Financial Advisors, NAIFA as we refer to it. I'm going to let you kind of lay that foundation, maybe at a high level, what it does to support financial advisors, and probably more importantly, what it does to support the Main Street and Wall Street clients that we serve.
Sure. So NAIFA, the National Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors, is the oldest, largest, most established, and most respected professional association association in the entire insurance and financial services landscape. We have been around since 1890, so we are celebrating our 130th anniversary this year. And we have been the association that has helped agents and advisors, producers, financial representatives, whatever their title is, the folks that help everyday folks get access to insurance and financial protection products. We have been their professional association, again, for 13 complete decades. Every single step of the way, as the federal government and then state governments, at least for the past 130 years, have developed policy related to insurance products and other financial services products, NAIFA has been the voice of the Main Street American consumer. And so what we do, our members serve folks that, are the firefighters back in their hometown, or the teachers, or the small business owners, basically everyday Americans, who need to make sure they've got life insurance, disability insurance, long-term care insurance, can plan for their kids' college savings, can also plan for their own retirement later in life. Our members are the folks that provide access to those products to, again, 90 million American families across the United States. And so what NAIFA does is it provides a professional home for them. It provides leadership development opportunities, professional development opportunities and training, certifications and credentials, both through our LUTCF designation as well as our new Life and Annuity Certified Professional, or LACP certification. We provide opportunities for folks to network at the local level, to share best practices and ideas, do the same thing at the state level, and interact with the state policymakers on their state capital, and we do that at the federal level here in Washington, D.C. So we really serve as a home for all those folks that serve every American pretty much throughout the country, and making sure they've got together the right financial plan so that they're secure for life. NAIFA serves not only doing the advocacy type work, but also, again, like I mentioned, the training, the support, the sense of community, and the communication work to help weave all those professionals together into one association.
Very nice. And I've been a member of NAIFA for many years, and I like the political advocacy. We'll circle back to that here in just a moment. I guess one question I have for you, just on a personal level, what's the passion that you have for NAIFA? Is there, you had a lot of opportunity, and certainly with your background and experience, as you said, you've led other organizations and helped in that sector before. So, what is it that attracted you to NAIFA at the time, or what keeps your passion today?
That's also a great question, Shane. It's the fact that our members literally impact, or have the potential to impact, every single American, and to do it in a positive way. When you get around to it, many people in this country who are good, hardworking, honest folks just don't understand what they need to be considering to make sure that they're financially secure for life. Many people, when they think about insurance products, they think about, well, I need to get it for my car because that's required by my state in order for me to drive. Or maybe I should get it, again, for my house because my bank requires it for me to be able to purchase a home, or if I'm renting a place, I need renter's insurance. But a lot of times they don't think about the other things they need to protect themselves and their families. And so what NAIFA members do is they help educate. They help create awareness as to the different products that are out there, what they're all used for, and how that might be applicable to consumers as they're making decisions as to where to spend their money, again, to best ensure that they and their family are protected. So, there's so many stories that I have heard about folks that have been either positively impacted by insurance products like life insurance, or folks that have been negatively impacted because they did not have life insurance and a major life event comes along. So when you think about like a young couple who's starting off life and they're starting their family, if that family has life insurance, in case one of the parents, the spouses, for some reason, does have something unfortunate happen and passes away, at least life insurance can serve as a financial safety net to make sure that the family unit can continue to be financially stable. And then I've heard stories of so many families that they've lost one of the partners, the husband or wife passes away, and that income stream is not there, and there was no insurance in place. And then the family has lost their home, or has lost the ability to provide properly for their kids, and their life has been irreparably altered financially, in addition to emotionally and otherwise because of the loss of a loved one. So knowing that we can provide the right tapestry in which NAIFA members can go out and serve the public and educate them as to what's available, to help them find the right solutions to meet their unique needs, to meet their to make sure that they are financially secure, is incredibly rewarding. And when I go to Capitol Hill, or when I go to any of the 50 state houses around the country, or when I go talk to company leaders, I'm immensely proud of the fact that our folks are there representing the average everyday guy or gal out there. We're not just representing people that are really well off, Wall Street types. we're representing Main Street. We're representing people that, again, like I mentioned before, the firefighters or the teachers or the small business owners, and making sure that they have access to financial protection products that they need. And then when the time comes in life, to help them plan for college savings for their kids, and then also start planning for their own retirement later. So again, they can live a good, fulfilling life on all fronts. And so that gives me an immense amount of personal and professional satisfaction.
Very nice. I really appreciate that. We are going to take a quick break. When we come back from the break, though, I do want to get into a couple of things you mentioned there, some of the legislative advocacy. I know NAIFA has been heavily involved, not only the past 100+ years, but more recently, DOL, the Reg BI, now, all the things going on with COVID-19. So maybe we can talk a little bit about what we've done, what you're currently doing, and we'll take it up there after the break.
Auto accidents happen. When it does, how much of that accident do you want to pay for out of pocket? If you could have someone else write that check, wouldn't you? Insurance does exactly that. It fills the financial void and signs the check on your behalf. Gateway Insurance and Financial Services is an independent insurance agency with options, so you're not tied to just one carrier. We find solutions for every budget and every situation. You deserve a second opinion, so you get the right protection at the right price. I'm April Lynn Chavez Geisler. Call me at 505-271-2222 and let Gateway be your one-stop solution. 505-271-2222.
Welcome back, everyone, to another Impact Drive Time presentation here at Gateway Podcast. I've got Kevin Mayeux, the CEO of NAIFA National Association of Insurance Financial Advisors, on with us today. And Kevin, before the break, we mentioned a little bit about some of the legislative advocacy work that NAIFA does do. And I know we were very instrumental in helping with the DOL, more recently the Reg BI, some of the changes coming out here in the next month or so. And I'm sure that in the midst of all this COVID-19, you guys are very active up there as well, keeping track of what's going on. Some of the CARES Act actually impacted us, not so much in a negative way, but definitely they snuck some things in on the CARES Act as well. So why don't I let you maybe make some comments about that and pre-COVID, what we're doing currently, and maybe what it looks like as we come back out of all of this.
All right. Hey, sounds good, Shane. Yeah, like you said, NAIFA is basically at the forefront of advocating on behalf of our members and the 90 million American families that they serve every single day in Washington, D.C. and in state houses all across the country. And in addition to that, one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is there's sort of this layer in between the federal layer and the state layer, and I call it the interstate layer. And that is so many different state insurance commissioners and state legislators that are involved in insurance committees. They get together and they have their own associations that develop model codes and model regulations that different states then consider for adoption. And we're active in that label as well, actively participating with the National Association of Insurance Commissioners and the National Conference of Insurance Legislators. So we're really involved in that as well. But yeah, when it comes to things like ensuring that the right public policy is put in place, we are fearless and relentless in making sure that we, in a very proper and professional tone, educate policymakers as to the impact of their decisions and how that impacts, again, the American consumer, because that's what NAIFA members really do truly represent, Main Street Americans all across this country. And so when the Department of Labor considered the fiduciary rule, we gave testimony before the DOL in making their policy considerations and got a lot of good points in. When they later passed it, we then worked with Congress to see if they could repeal it through the APA, because we thought that it would hamper the ability of lower middle income Americans to get access to quality financial advice. And then at the end of the day, when that wasn't able to go through, we worked to the court system to see that rule vacated. We also sat back and said, NAIFA has always believed in looking after the best interest of our clients. NAIFA members do that every single day and have done that their entire professional careers, because NAIFA members are not only trusted advisors, but they're people that ascribe to a code of ethics that says, really, I'm going to do my best to look after my client's best interest each and every day. And so when the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, was considering what they would put in place for some sort of enhancement to the suitability standard that was out related to selling various products that our members present to consumers, we helped educate them again as to what our members do, how those decisions might impact them to financial security products. And so with that, the SEC took into account a lot of our feedback, and that's from company leaders and others as they drafted the regulation best interest, or as we call it, Reg BI. And so we have done our best since that became adopted by the SEC to educate our members as to what is entailed in, what they can do and what they can't do. But most of it, again, is what NAIFA members have done consistently for 130 years, which is do the right thing, look after your client's best interest. And we're going to continue to do that under the new regulations to take effect this summer. When it comes to the different bits of COVID-19 relief, again, we have worked directly with the leadership in both parties in both chambers, as well as with the White House and the Small Business Administration and the Department of Treasury related to the various relief packages that the federal government has put out. And then as those packages have come out, we've done our best to help inform our members as to what is involved in those, what the Paycheck Protection Program, for example, is, who's eligible for it, how you can get access to funding, so that not only our members can take advantage of that, but more importantly, they can educate their clients, their customers, as to what is included in those packages so that they can best protect themselves and look after their business. You know, there are so many small businesses around this country that are absolutely crippled right now due to the lockdown that's in place in many, if not all, well, many of our states around the country. And as our economy has come to not quite a screeching halt, but close to it over the course of the past 2 months, we want to make sure that they can access these different aid packages that Congress is passing. And so we've been able to do that, I think, quite effectively. And we're going to continue to make sure that the voice of Main Street American consumers and the voice of our members is represented as Congress considers CARES version 2.0 and other enhancements to the COVID relief packages that they're looking at throughout the course of May and into the summer. Another thing that we have done is, again, since we do have a federal system in the United States, not everything happens in Washington, D.C. And of course, what you would get if you watch the Fox News or CNN or any of those stations, you tend to only hear about things that are happening really at the federal level and what Congress and the President of the United States are doing. But so much is also done at the state level. And, we have governors all across the country. We have state legislators, and they are enacting policies that impact our members and the American consumers' lives nationwide. And so we are tracking all of that in real time also on our website. And we have both for our members as well as for the general public COVID-19 resources, including being able to, again, track legislation and regulations nationwide. So if any of your listeners are interested in logging on, if they're a member of NAIFA, they can go to belong.naifa.org and then look under the COVID-19 resource kit. Or anyone else who isn't a member, you can go to our public-facing site, which is financialsecurity.org. And on it, there's a ton of stuff that can help people be better financially prepared for their future. But also there is a COVID-19 resource kit that includes not only, again, what's the latest on all the federal stuff, but again, the links to what each state is doing. And there's also an important section on there, too, about scams, because there are some bad actors out there that are trying to take advantage of folks during this crisis. And we want to help educate people so at least they can be aware of what's going on and hopefully avoid somebody ripping them off. And so we've got access to the and posted on that public site the latest information related to scams that are out there. So that's just kind of part of what we do each and every day as the voice of the American consumer.
Yeah, absolutely. Great resources. I know recently you did the Zoom meeting and had a great webcast on understanding the CARES Act and, like you said, all the various funding opportunities for small businesses and even us as financial advisors or 1099 contractors and et cetera, and a lot of great public information. So I think, that educational component is a value add that a lot of people sometimes overlook or maybe don't understand. It's not always just about, hey, buy more life insurance. I mean, you're across all sectors. It includes information for the general public, whether it's a recent thing that's going on and how's that going to impact me? Are they changing laws that have to do with my 401k or my retirement plan, college education, all the way down to life insurance, even health insurance, and et cetera. Really appreciate all of that. So that website, again, for the public facing part of it, financialsecurity.org. The other part is recently I saw a lot of, at least the members of NAIFA have put on their social media, I Am Essential. I love that campaign and some of the things that coming out with. Some of the other alliances that we work with, NAIFA does a great job on the political aspect and staying out there in legislative advocacy. Great job on education. We'll talk, before we end today, we'll talk about some of the opportunities for people to get involved. But what are some of the other organizations that recently we've gotten some alliances with where maybe, I know we got Life Happens in the background, great content and material. MDRT in the past has been a good partner. Any comments you want to make along that line?
Oh, sure. We of course believe in doing what we can to partner with anybody who wants to partner with us and doing good things for advisors, agents, producers, financial representatives all across the country. So, we are really pleased to have not only been a founder of, but a core supporter throughout its entire history of Life Happens. Life Happens does a great job educating the public as to the need for life insurance and other financial protection products. Many of your listeners may be aware of Life Insurance Awareness Month, which is in September of each month. up. That's all coordinated through Life Happens. NAIFA has a seat on their board of directors and provides them with direct financial support every year to help make the good things they do happen. We also, not only as the group that founded MDRT, the $1 Million Roundtable, but we're active and we partner with them whenever possible and participate in our events. We do the same thing with NAIFA, who represents independent life distribution. We do the same thing with NAIA, with LIA, with AAIFPA, the different groups out there that represent segments of the life insurance distribution community, serving discrete cultural needs and communities. We also partner with WIFS, which is Women in Insurance and Financial Services. We partner with groups all across the tapestry of this industry. We can make sure that we get the word out as to what's going on in the larger sense, but also to find out if there's some unique needs that any of those niche groups have, that we're doing our best as kind of the broad tent for the larger industry, doing our best to meet those needs. And then when it comes to things like when we do go to the U.S. Capitol or we do go to our state capitals to represent the larger industry before policymakers, we make sure we invite our partners to come along as well. Because again, a policymaker doesn't just look at, oh, this is NAIFA. They really look at it as this is financial security professionals do. And we want to make sure we've got a very broad, diverse group of people that are attending each of those meetings and opportunities to educate legislators and policymakers. We're doing more and more of that every day. In fact, we've got one new thing that's going to be announced early next week, and that is we are now partnering with LIMRA, which is the Life Insurance Research Marketing Association, and we are going to be working with them to make sure that the voice of the producer is actively heard in their research, and make sure that if producer, meaning advisor, agent, et cetera, their perspective is heard when policymakers get research coming up from LIMRA. So we're going to be distributing surveys on their behalf and co-branding the reports that come out through that partnership with a marketing and research arm of the industry.
Yeah, and as financial professionals, oftentimes we're involved with one organization or multiple organizations. And one of the things I love about NAIFA is the common thread that holds all of us together when, we come back for events or conferences or come into DC to go talk to the legislators. All of these different organizations, representation, whether you're an independent on the independent side of the insurance or financial service business, or whether you're part of a career company, a New York Life, a Mass Mutual, some of the long-standing companies that have been out there, we all come together and we don't see our colleagues there as competition. It's more like a brother sisterhood, a big fraternal, if you will. And I like that. I like that ability to come together and just find out like what's working in your practice, what's not, what are the concerns in your city, your town, or your state. And I think it's important for all of the listeners to understand that this is not just for life insurance agents. It's not just for life insurance companies. We've embraced the financial service sector, the independent sector, all of the different diversity, all of the different organizations. And I think over the last, couple of decades, it's really been exciting to see that growth and expansion. You mentioned the state and local, national level. Tell us a little bit, Kevin, how you envision and how you see and what people are currently doing to get involved. How can someone say, hey, I kind of want to get involved. How do I get involved with NAIFA? How do I get involved at a state or a local level? Maybe even eventually at a national level? Absolutely.
Well, again, NAIFA as being as big and as mature as we are as an organization, we have units of NAIFA available all across the country. So NAIFA is organized as one association now, and we have 50 different state chapters around the country. And those states are responsible for, again, making sure the policymakers understand what the producer community in that state wants and needs and is hearing from their consumers, and also to provide programming throughout the entire state. And then to help do that, we have also about 35 local chapters across the country in large metropolitan areas. And then we also have what we call affiliates, which are basically local units of a state chapter that exist all throughout the country. And so an advisor, no matter where she or he is located throughout the country, usually can find within a relatively short drive a local NAIFA chapter or local affiliate that's in that area that produces face-to-face programming and networking opportunities in their community. We also provide opportunities to connect people through some of our digital programming. Right now during COVID-19, everything is digital, but also during the course of the year, we produce a number of national programs that we distribute, and we have basically groups of folks that can get together on a local level, watch a program, discuss things interactively, and then go back to a program. So we can have a nationally prominent presenter that's given a speech, let's say, in Albuquerque, and then we can distribute that all across the country. And you can have folks discussing that content in Seattle and in Miami and in Maine all at the same time, which is fantastic. So if you've got a person out there who wants to get involved, one, we'd love to have you. And in a professional association, there is always room for members who want to be involved and engaged, either as participants or as folks that serve in a leadership capacity. And so I'd encourage you to step up. Again, we do have local affiliates or chapters all across the country. And then each of our states has a state chapter. And then on the national level, we have opportunities for engagement and involvement, not just on the board, but also on committees that help produce things like our congressional conference or our Performance Plus Purpose conference, or provide thought leadership for Advisor Today. That's our publication, or provide blog postings, or can just present stories to talk again about your practice and what you do to serve your clients. Because we'd love to highlight and better put the face of the profession on individuals so that people understand and policymakers understand it's not just people like me who run the association that are talking about the story. These are real people with real stories, and these are the real everyday Americans that they interact with every single day. And so we're trying to provide that personal face and touch to what NAIFA does.
And I know that normally in May, we have what we always refer to as a fly-in, but many of us that would fly into Washington, D.C. there, go and meet at Capitol Hill, talk with legislators about concerns or issues, or maybe just give them encouragement and support and thanking them for things that they've supported in our industry. This year's going to be a little bit different. Why don't you tell everyone what's coming up here in a few weeks and how they might participate in that?
So I'm really excited about that, Shane. Typically, like you mentioned, we have the largest legislative fly-in in the entire insurance and financial services space, bringing 800 to 1,000 members from all 50 states and more than 90% of the congressional districts to our nation's capital each year to talk to our members of our representatives in the U.S. House and of the Senate. This year, of course, the Capitol is under lockdown, and our congressional conference was scheduled for May 19th and 20th, has been canceled because of the fact that nobody's traveling and Washington, D.C. is pretty much on lockdown. But what we've done is we have turned lemons into lemonade, and we have repurposed that week to make it Nation NAIFA Impact Week. And this is a week where we've got 3 different days of programming from noon until 3 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday, May 19th, Wednesday, May 20th, and Thursday, May 21st. And it's an opportunity for not just NAIFA members, but for any financial protection, financial security professional to come and join us. Free and open to all. We'd love to have people there. So on Tuesday the 19th, we're going to have our diversity symposium. And this typically is an event where we bring in 30 to 40 folks that talk about, again, how we can become more diverse as a profession, how we can serve more diverse communities around the country, what the unique needs are of those diverse communities, and how can we get the word out both to producers as well as companies. And so again, we can do a better job of helping with financial literacy and educating people as to the different products and services that are available. That is now expanded, so anybody can attend it. And we'd love to have more participation of that diversity event on Tuesday, the 19th of May. On Wednesday, the 20th, we're going to have our Advocacy and Action Day. And so during that 3-hour block, again, noon to 3 p.m. Eastern time, we will have our NAIFA government relations professionals speak about what's going on in D.C., how everybody can get involved, how you can help engage with your member of Congress and your U.S. senators in your state, and then talk about how we can bring that message back to them, back in their home districts and in their field offices, back again in their state, since we won't be in Washington, D.C. And we also have several members of Congress that will be joining us via Zoom technology and speaking directly to our attendees during that block as well. So a great opportunity there on that Wednesday, the 20th, Advocacy and Action Day. And then on Thursday, May 21st, we're going to have an incredible day. We're going to have leadership training. And we've got a couple of guest speakers that are going to be announced next week. But we've got a great opportunity, again, to bring everybody together to help train you to be a better leader, both as a person within your office, within your family, and in your community. So, again, you can continue to grow as a professional. And so tremendous opportunity all 3 of those days, free and open to everyone, and registration for that opens up next Monday. So any of our folks can go to the NAIFA website and you can sign up and attend those events. Again, registration opens on Monday, May 4th, as does our PR kit that's going to be talking to you again about the great speakers that we've got. And I think you guys are going to be blown away when you hear about one of the speakers that actually, Shane, I think you had a pretty good hand in arranging to have that person present. Great stuff going on for NAIFA Nation Impact Week.
Yeah, very, very exciting for everyone to go out and participate in that. And then later in the year, depending on how all of this is post-COVID, I guess, as we come out with new rules and regs. I know right now we're slated to have what we refer to as the P+P conference. That in the past, that's always been a national gathering of all of us coming into a location. And what is your forecast on that? And even if it doesn't happen on a physical basis, maybe what that normally consists of so people can kind of look forward to something like that in the future.
Sure. So NAIFA's Performance Plus Purpose Conference is scheduled October 1 through the 4th in Boston, Massachusetts. And we are hopeful that we will be able to continue to hold the event as a live in-person event and give an opportunity for our members and others that choose to attend to gather, to interact, to experience that camaraderie and true sense of community that NAIFA forms as the professional association for our space. To share ideas, to learn and to grow, and to hopefully have a lot of fun. So we're hopeful that event will take place as a live in-person event. But in the event that we're unable to do that because, again, of the pandemic and things that are beyond all of our control, we will, of course, pivot and turn it into a virtual event as well, where hopefully we will still be able to capture a lot of the great stuff you would get at the Performance Plus Purpose Conference, but you'll get it in a digital way instead. But more to come on that. We're going to continue to monitor and follow the advice of our health professionals around the country. We are, again, optimistic and hopeful that we'll all be able to gather face-to-face in Boston in early October, but more to come on that as the situation continues to develop.
Very nice. Kevin, I really appreciate your time today and all the great insight and information, getting to know you a little bit better personally as well on the front end of our broadcast. If people want to get in touch with anyone back there at NAIFA, want to find out more about membership, how to get involved, how to become a member, can you give them the information, give them the website again, and we'll make sure that people are directed back that way.
Absolutely. And again, Shane, thank you very much for having me on today. Appreciate the opportunity to chat with you. You are a great friend and a great leader in this profession, and we just appreciate you so much at NAIFA. So again, thanks for all the stuff that you and your team do every single day, not only for your team members, but again for the larger advisor community. So again, if anyone is interested in learning more about NAIFA, you can go to our website, which is naifa.org or belong.naifa.org. We would love to have you become a member if you're not a member currently, or if you just want to participate and kick the tires and just see what we've got, please join us for any of our town hall meetings or, again, NAIFA Nation Impact Week, or come join us for a conference. The virtual events right now are all free and they're open to anyone, and we'd love to have you join us. And then all the many local activities, we've got state events, etc. Most of those have opportunities for non-members to join. There's sometimes a registration fee associated with those, particularly if there's food and beverage, that kind of stuff included, but we'd love to have you join us. Again, being part of a community is a great thing to do, and as the professional association for this space, we want you to know that we not only are there for you now, but we've been there for you for 130 years, and we're going to continue to be there for you in the future. So again, NAIFA.org, and our public-facing site is financialsecurity.org. And of course, if there's anything else you need, feel free to email me. You can email me directly at KNAYEUX@NAIFA.org, or you can email info@NAIFA.org.
Kevin, thank you so much. Really appreciate all the work that you do and all the support that you continue to give all of us in the financial service industry, as well as NAIFA members. And appreciate you, the entire staff back there, all the great leadership. Phenomenal job, and especially all of the challenges that we've been faced with here on the front end of this year. For the first half, we've really appreciated the great communication, staying in touch, all the value add that you brought out. And again, just as a reminder for everyone listening, NAIFA not only gives information out for the advisors and keeps us informed as what's going on, there are also a lot of resources there for you to use with your clients. Of course, you'll have to send them through your own compliance departments for approval, but what we found in the past is when NAIFA puts something together, it goes right through compliance without any hiccups. It's very well done, very quality. Everything has got the citations that are needed and disclosures. Great job to you and your team back there. Really appreciate all your support.
Thank you for joining us today, and we hope you enjoyed this program. GFA is focused on being a one-stop shop for full financial planning. To get more information about how you can join and be part of this winning team, go to www.gfainvestments.com or call us at 888-939-9714. Once again, our website is www.gfainvestments.com, or you can contact us at 888-939-9714. This has been a presentation of Gateway Financial Advisors, Incorporated. And remember, focus on your maximum potential.
Thank you for listening to our Gateway podcast. Securities offered through registered representatives of Cambridge Investment Research Incorporated, a broker-dealer, member FINRA, SIPC. Advisory services offered through Cambridge Investment Research Advisors Incorporated, a registered investment advisor. Gateway Financial Advisors Incorporated, and Cambridge Investment Research are not affiliated.